Hey, Scott Bolden, it's so good to see you here at the DNC.
Good, thank you for having me. I'm extremely happy to be here. A lot of energy here, and I'm glad to be here with you.
No, absolutely. Do you think America is ready for a woman president?
There's swaths of America that are not ready for that, and shame on them, but we're going to pray for them, if you will, because she's closer to being the next president of the United States than anyone else. And there are a lot of women who have tried this, a lot of cracks on that ceiling. So it really doesn't matter. But she's going to represent all of us, whether we're ready for a female president or a woman president or not. And that's the beauty of America. This is the greatest country on earth. It's imperfect, right? Even in the Constitution, we say we're searching for a more perfect union. This is part of that American transformation and positivity.
So when Biden and Harris were running together for 2020, Biden was perceived, I think this is fair to say, as the more kind of centrist candidate, Kamala Harris, the more progressive candidate.
Yeah.
Now we have ostensibly a more progressive candidate with another progressive candidate.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, will that make it more difficult to get those centrist voters, the Democratic voters, the undecided, some of the independents?
I'm going to disagree with your proposition question.
Okay.
I think that after 3.5 years, Harris is a very different candidate. She has been supporting a centrist in the White House, balancing the far left, if you will. And that's not the same candidate as 3.5 years ago. I think you see from her economic bullet points, I think you're going to see more as we find out more about policy, that she is going to be more centrist than progressive, while balancing the progressive part of the wing. She's going to be just like Biden had to do. Secondly, Walz has been progressive as a governor in Minnesota, but he's been really moderate when he was in Congress because he reflected the district that he represented. He won a red district, right? And so every race is different. Times change, people change. And it's not that they are flip-flopping or not committed to the proposition, one proposition over another. It's that they serve people and they represent people in the interests of their constituents.
What does Kamala Harris need to accomplish in her speech tomorrow night?
Oh, man, she's got to be powerful. She can't take herself too seriously. She's got to be humble. She's got to lay out a vision. Not just a political vision, but I think an economic vision. I really do. I think people want to know what her policies are.
Tell me more about how you think Harris-Walz ticket would govern.
I think it's going to be driven by the people. At least the campaign will be. If they win, I think that there's going to be a balance of not only centrist policies, but also progressive policies. There's going to be a balance.
One of the things I've observed is that the presidential nominee, Kamala Harris, she hasn't done a lot of media since the time where she accepted the nomination. And partially that is also reflected in the fact I don't really know much about her policies at this point. Would you agree that there isn't really a lot of information about what to expect there, or do you see something I don't?
I think we agree on that. There's not a lot out there right now. There's a lot out there 4 years ago, if you will, but this is a very different candidate now who's been the vice president, has learned a great deal, and we're building this ship in the last 30 days, as I say, and so the media piece will come. I don't think she's avoiding the media. I think she's being very disciplined about what she says and does, and she's got to win an election in less than 75 days. And so the press conferences and the interviews will come. And I personally hope they come sooner than later, because I think she's ready for that. But she's got to support her base. She's got to get her base together.
Any final thoughts?
Just go win, baby. Just go win. And she's got to govern all the people, the Republicans and Democrats and independents, one. And two, if Trump wins, we've got to hold him accountable, and we've got to make him better. That's the best of democracy in America, and we've got to keep her accountable if she wins, right? It's great that she's winning. It's great that she's going to be the first woman of color to be president, and Walz is going to be awesome, but we got to keep them accountable too. Because presidents make decisions when you make them make decisions in your favor. That's the only reason. They're not doing it on their own. We, as a democracy, as people who are supporters and detractors, make them make decisions. So those are my best thoughts.
I'm going to ask one more question,
Okay.
a more general one. What's your vision for the future of the country?
Oh, this divisiveness has got to go away, and it will. You know, the majority of America is in the middle. They want to get things done. They want bipartisanship. The media, no offense, focuses on the far left and the far right. They do. And that's what we hear about. That's the noise. Now, those elements are out there. Do not get me wrong. But the majority of Americans want the same things. Black, white, yellow, brown, Jew, Gentile, Christian. They want safe streets. They want a great education for their kids. They want to be able to pay for their kids' education. They want great health care, right? They want great friends. And they want fairness, justice, and equality for all of us. That's what they want. But this democracy can bend, but we can't let it break. And it is fragile enough. Anybody that presumes that our democracy cannot break and that the way of our life can't change, right? You got to rethink that proposition. And that's why we've got to protect it. There's nothing more important than this democracy.
How will the Harris-Walz ticket accomplish that?
I think by building a strong economy, not just statistically, but making the economy where we feel that prices are lower and that we attack inflation. We provide health care for the least, the lost, and the left out, and for all Americans. And then we provide leadership around the world. You know, the world relies on us. We haven't even talked about foreign policy. They rely on us, right? What happens in America affects every market around this world. And then having an opportunity economy where everyone feels like they've got an opportunity to live the American dream.
You know, you opened the door on this, so I have to ask you one more question. The biggest external threat to America?
The biggest external threat are the countries that export terrorism, our enemies. China, although they're very necessary because we do so much trade with them. Iran, because of their nuclear capability. North Korea, because of their alleged nuclear capability. These are we've got wars going on in Ukraine. We've got wars going on elsewhere, in Africa as well. America's leadership can change that and fix that. We've just got to go do it, right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.